Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Knitknacker Natters. I'm Fatima, and I'm coming to you from sunny Singapore. And this is a crafting podcast where I talk about various crafty things that I get up to, predominantly kind of knitting and crochet, and kind of chat to you about life in Far East Asia. So welcome if you're new, and thank you for taking the time to check me out. And welcome back to all you lovely people who have been patient with me and put up with me not podcasting for a while. I have missed you all terribly, but life has kind of gotten in the way, and various things have happened, and I just haven't been able to. But I'll kind of chat more about that in a bit. So, where can you find me? I'm Knitknacker on Instagram and Ravelry. We have, or rather the podcast has, a Ravelry group called the Knitknacker Natters Podcast. And for my tech editing side of stuff, I also have a website called knitknackercrafts.com. Most of the information should be down below. So that's kind of where you can find me. What's in store today? So I am going to be keeping this brief for two reasons. I don't have tons to show you. But also I have an interview for a real life job. For those of you who don't know, I'm a medic by profession, and I had a baby at the beginning of the year, and I've been on maternity leave, and I have started kind of doing some tech editing to help because I would like to be at home with my baby boy and watch him grow up and teach him stuff, but I think it's probably going to be coming to a point where I'm going to have to start thinking about going back to work proper. It's a little bit more challenging to work part-time in Singapore. Singapore is not kind of used to the part-time working culture. And for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from the UK, and part of the reason I chose the line of work I did, or the specialty I did, was because I wanted to be able to have a good work-life balance. Family is very important to me, and if I was in the UK, I could afford to be a bit more flexible. So today is my first interview. We shall see if they can offer me something that would be suitable for my kind of life at present. So fingers crossed. Yeah, in an ideal world, I'd like to stay at home for a little bit longer, and be able to do kind of more on the crafting and tech editing side of things. And I have kind of put some stuff into motion, which I'm hoping to probably share with you in the new year. It's not quite ready yet. I had thought I would be able to share some stuff with you. I might be able to chat a little bit about it later, but let's see. Let's get started, and I want to start on a really positive, fun note, and what better way to start than a giveaway? So I think I last podcast at the beginning of November, so it really has been a while, and shortly after my last episode, Marsha Ibuki, Fairy Little, of the Twitch and Stitch podcast, released one of her new patterns, and it's called the Blustery Shawl. It was actually a pattern that I helped tech edit, and it was such a fun pattern to work on, and Marsha is lovely to work with. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. It's a crescent shaped shawl with some short row shaping, and there's lots of bits going on to keep it interesting. So I wanted to be I wanted to buy a copy of her pattern, just because I like supporting new designers, and yeah, so I had thought that I would buy her pattern, but before I could even do that, she gifted it to me, and I still wanted to give back in some way. So what I decided to do was to have a giveaway for the pattern on the podcast, and I kind of put it on Instagram and in my Ravelry group, and just said that let me know sorry, frog in the throat, if you were to kind of knit this pattern, what yarn would you choose? And I've used my random number generator this morning just because I couldn't wait, and we have a winner. And the winner is Kathy Hill, who's Happy Hound 11 on Ravelry. So Kathy, please get in touch with me, and congratulations. I can't wait to gift you the pattern, and I should have written down what yarn it is that you said that you would use. Bear with me 2 ticks and let me see if I can look it up. So Kathy said that she would go stash diving unless Santa sent her some yarn money. And I'm just looking down to see what she's written. She said, I have some lovely superwash merino that would look lovely, I think, paired with a plain semi-solid. And I think it's a yarn called Cuddle Bums. Kathy, can you let me know? The picture's upside down on the Ravelry feed. So yeah, but congratulations, Kathy, and get in touch with me. Just PM me on Ravelry, and or actually, you don't need to PM me on Ravelry. I can send you the pattern straight away. So yeah, so I need to be quite honest. There hasn't been a lot of knitting of late. There's been quite a few things going on, and each thing kind of perpetuates the other, and yeah, not much has been happening, and I feel like it's affecting my knitting mojo, to be honest. I feel like there are times when I go through slumps, and if I can't find the time, it doesn't happen, and it becomes a bit of a catch-22 situation, and then I not so much lose interest, but I can't focus, and so nothing gets very much attention, which I think is pretty much what has happened with regards to my knitting over the last 4 to 5 weeks. However, I do have an FO, and it is behind me. So let's take a peek. This is my Talisman shawl. Now, you're getting fluctuating colour on this, kind of because of the light, so it's kind of getting, oh, that's probably a perfect colour. This is the small size. I knit it for myself. I don't have blocking wires, and so it's not a perfect block, but I think it will do for the moment. And as you can see, I haven't quite written in the end, but I'm still considering it an FO because, well, it's done. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart of the Curious Handmade podcast, and she created a number of patterns called the Shawl Society, and this was, I think, the first one. And this is her second pattern that I have knit. I have made her Twinkle Twinkle blanket for my baby boy before he was born, and it's got the same kind of stitch pattern on it. This is knit in 2 yarns, a homespun house. The colourway is a Festival of Lights on Molly's Buchan base, which I don't know if she does anymore, which is an MCN. It's gorgeous. It is really challenging to knit with when it's really humid, which I'm finding with a lot of yarn at the moment, but this particularly so because of how warm it is. It's quite a plump fingering, and I think for that reason I wasn't going to have enough to finish the border. So this kind of was started in July but went into hibernation for a really long time because I couldn't find the perfect yarn. Lo and behold, I actually had some or a contrasting yarn in my stash. I just hadn't looked well enough. So a lot of people gave me a lot of suggestions, and I even got in touch with Molly herself about kind of finding contrasting yarn, and then I found this. Oh, the colour isn't fab. That's better. Okay, so this is wool barn. It's on her smooth sock base, which I think is a 75-25 if I'm not mistaken. It's a much thinner fingering, but I think it works. The picots need to be blocked a bit better, I'm afraid, but I really like it. I think I can probably stretch it out a bit further to make it even bigger, but it's perfect, I think. Oh, here we go. I think it's big enough for me. That's the most important thing, is that I'm going to be wearing it. See? So I wasn't sure how I should kind of add in the green. I had seen someone on either Ravelry or Instagram where they had done the border in a different colour, but what they had done is slightly earlier on they'd introduced a stripe of that colour, so there was some flow. And I was chatting to one of my knitting friends here, hi Claire if you're watching, and she suggested kind of doing, I think I can't remember if it was the first or the last row before the border, which has some of the kind of stitch pattern in it, and she suggested kind of introducing the green, the dark green, but doing the stitch in the original yarn. I think it worked well. The only problem is, look how big these floats are. Crazy. I haven't done colour work. I've wanted to do colour work, and I wanted to do colour work for Marsha, Marsha's colour work cow, and I even wound the yarn, but I just never got round to it. So I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a way that I could have done this better, but I'm not sure how. So any suggestions for the future, because I'm not going to rip this back, obviously, let me know. But yes, this is my Talisman shawl. It was knit on 4mm needles, and I love it. I think it's amazing, and this is such a different colour for me. I'm not normally someone who not wears green, but I wouldn't necessarily have chosen this yarn, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm particularly glad that I chose this particular base, because I've had a look on Ravelry at the other kind of bases that Festival of Lights was dyed on, and I think this colour kind of comes out the best, in my opinion. So that's the first one. Kind of the second one, I don't know that you'd really call it an FO, but I'm sticking it in the FO section because I've done bits of stuff. So everyone is doing advent calendars, advent blankets, and so cozy memory blankets are coming out of the woodwork, but someone that's been kind of continuously working on theirs, as far as I can see, has been Kay, from the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. Hey Kay. You've totally been my inspiration behind kind of digging my cozy memories out of hibernation, and it really has been in hibernation. I was back in the UK this time last year, and I really wanted to get started on one, but I don't knit a lot of socks, and I often kind of knit with bulkier yarns because I'm making kind of crocheted blankets or baby garments or stuff like that. So I don't have tons of fingering weight scraps, but I really wanted to join in, and so I had ordered some kind of mini skein packs from various people. I think it was Molly from Homespun House. I ordered her kind of project bag pack, and Nora George yarns, and All About yarn, and kind of in anticipation for starting this blanket. And I basically got 1.5 squares done, and then it got put aside, and so I think just seeing Kay's one repeatedly, and then I think she'd done something, she posted a picture on Instagram, and I just thought, I need to bring mine out, and I know I don't have tons of scrappy stuff, but let's see what I can get onto this blanket. So yeah, I kind of dug mine out and decided to give it a go again. I'm kind of in the middle of a square, and this is what I have so far. I'm on square number 5. This was my original square. This is a Regia design line, I think by Cafe Facet. And I had made some Rosity rollers out of this yarn. This is Drops alpaca silk, maybe alpaca silk, in like a movie colorway, which I had knit a shawl out of. It's on my project page, sorry. This is, I think, an All About yarn. The thing with mini skein packs is the ones that I've gotten so far haven't told me colorway names, and I would love to say I was enthusiastic enough to kind of trawl through pages and pages just to find 5 skeins, but I haven't been, so it's my bad really. But I really like this colorway. It's kind of maroon and cream, although it looks pink with bits of red and turquoise in there. I think it's really funky. It's much thinner than some of the other yarns I've got in this blanket, but yeah. And then this is my Festival of Lights square, and I have started on some Stray Cat socks in the Luigi colorway, which is what I did my husband's socks out of. So that's number 5. I'm using I think most people are using Kemper's kind of pattern for the Cozy Memories blanket. I'm not. I have absolutely no recollection why I chose the pattern I did at the time, but I'm just carrying on with that. And I'm using the free pattern by Georgie, Nicholson. And I cast on 40 stitches, or 20 and pick up 20 or whatever. And then kind of, it's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. And then on the right side, do a decrease before the stitch marker and after the stitch marker, and then kind of just knit the wrong side up. And I've got, I think, a 40 centimeter cable, fixed cable. This was Knit Picks, and this is 2.5 millimeter needles. And I just thought having a small dedicated needle would be perfect. So yeah, that's mine so far. It's not really a rabbit hole for me. I think if I was doing a crochet blanket, it might become a bit of a rabbit hole for me. But one of the things with this, and for those of you who know already, I don't enjoy picking up stitches, and obviously with this you do have to pick up stitches. I think I'm probably getting better at it, but it's not something I love. So the beginning part is just like I wish I could just get this on the needles. But yeah, so I should say that I had done this square and half of this square, so I finished this and added 2, and I'm on the 3rd. So yes, these are my FOs. Okay, moving on to whips. So I could not wait for Marsha to release her pattern. I was so excited. I had picked out my yarn, and it was just, I couldn't wait until she released it. I've never done a shawl with short row shaping, and hers, from a knitting perspective, seemed easy enough for me to give it a go. So yeah, I decided when she gifted me the pattern, my yarn was wound into cakes and ready in this project bag, which is a Stitches You project bag. Stitch in You bag. I love this. This is absolutely gorgeous. And I think I showed it to you guys on my last episode, but what I didn't show you guys was this. It's a lavender sachet, which was inside the bag, and I was just so excited to have the bag, I didn't open it. And yeah, so let me show you what yarn I am using. They're both Homespun House yarns. You see, I'm trying to stash dive. Sorry, a bit tangled. But the pattern calls for a variegated skein and kind of a plain skein. So I'm using peony. So peony. And then this one is Berlin Sunset. I think I need a new ball winder. This seems to be happening with pretty much all my cakes. It's really frustrating. Let me tell you what they are. So the peony is on her Dale fingering. It's 100% 19 micron merino, 400 meters and 100 grams. So this is this one, and it's much plumper than the Berlin Sunset, which is a different base. It's a awesome base, which is 75% superwash BFL. and 25% nylon. I think the two of them work really, really well together. Oh, sorry, is that better with lighting? Bear with me, I think I'm going to have to draw the curtain. I think that's a little bit better. Still not perfect, but yeah. So that's Berlin Sunset and Peony. And I have just started. So I got really excited about this, and I cast this on as soon as I got the pattern. And I think for that day, I was just knitting on this. And then life happened, and it kind of got put aside. And now that my Talisman is finished, I can't wait to get back to this. This is what I have so far. And I think the colourways work really well together. Obviously you can tell that the Peony is far plumper than the Berlin Sunset, but I think it still works. So that's one. The Berlin Sunset is where I've done my first short row shaping section. Covering my mouth. My first short row shaping section, and I'm just about to start the second short row shaping section. And I tried my hand at making stitch markers. I don't know if you can see this one. It's not focusing, it's focusing on me. Can you see? There we go. Is that better? Yeah. So I made my first stitch marker. That's right. It was quite fun. So yeah, I'm using higher sharps, 5mm needles, as the pattern dictates. I didn't check gauge because I don't tend to check gauge, but so there's a possibility I might run out of yarn, but I'm hoping, I think if I remember rightly now, Marsha has included instructions on what to do if you have if you want to make the shawl a little bit smaller. Apparently it's a humongous shawl. I say apparently, I tech edited this, I should know. I do. So I'm looking forward to having a really cozy knit, and I'm hoping to be able to take it to the UK with me next year when I go. So yeah, that's my first whip, and I love the pattern. Kathy, you're very lucky to have won it, and for those of you who haven't bought it yet, go out and get it. It's such a cool shawl, and it's not difficult, so if I can do it, you guys can do it. So yeah, that's my first whip. What's the second one? The next one is in my Mrs. Brown's bags, and this Mrs. Brown's bags is in Singapore at the moment, Jodie. Not that Jodie watches, but and it's also been to Indonesia. So in this I have this. So I don't know if any of you recognise this at all. Let me find my tag. It's from Joan of My Yarn Story Company, and I had asked her to make some custom colourways for me for my to be or not to be cow, and because I loved what she was doing, I asked her for 3 skeins instead of 2 and decided to keep one. And this one is called Honeybee, and it's kind of mustard, orange, browns, yellows, creams. It's really lovely, and it's on her 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon base. You get 425 meters and 100 grams. Joan is a Singaporean dyer, so I was really excited to be able to support someone locally. Yeah, so that's my yarn. What do I have on my needles? I have the Speckled Space Socks. So I've just kind of started these. I have these on Knit Prosings on the 100 centimeter cable because I was going to do these 2 at a time, and I've never knit 2 at a time socks. I think partly because my ball winder does weird things with my cakes, despite using Connie's button. It was just getting very, very tangled, and I think the other problem that I had looking at other people who kind of knit socks 2 at a time now is that I had one sock at one end and the other sock at the other end, and it was just getting very faffy, and I realised that most people keep their socks together, and had I done that, I probably would have been absolutely fine, bar a few tangles. Next time this is a free pattern, and I can't remember the designer's name, but I will put it on at the bottom. And I was on Instagram and watching kind of Debbie Reese and Connie from the ChileKnitz podcast knitting these, and I fell in love, and Connie's are in this gorgeous pink, and I wanted to use this skein of yarn. I actually wound up another skein in kind of a pinky peachy colour, to a fawn and the fox skein, but then realised that actually it's an MCN and I didn't want to use it for socks, so I've kind of kept it away for something else, hopefully in the future. I am enjoying this pattern so far. I have to be honest, I think I did Julie's Magic Cast On wrong a couple of times, or rather I think I knit from the wrong side, so I ended up with a ridge here, so I think I cast these on about 3 times, but I don't normally do toe-up socks. Full of excuses today, it's not good. I thought I'd show you the back because it doesn't have patterning on it, so you can see what this colourway knits up as. I think it's really lovely. Well done, Joan. It's really lovely and soft. So yeah, check out her shop. It's on Etsy if you haven't already. So that's my whip number 2. I have done other knitting. On my last podcast, I think I mentioned that I was trying my hand at designing some stuff. On Instagram, I mentioned that I was doing knitting a bolero. I had started knitting a harvest cardigan for a baby girl that we were going to visit, and they've all just gone kind of terribly pear-shaped. I didn't love my design or a particular part of the design element, so I kind of frogged some of it. Well, I frogged it, then restarted, then kind of ripped out some of it, and then got busy with other stuff, so it's been put on the back burner. The bolero, once I started it, I realised the instructions were funny, and drops, you need a tech editor. Quite honestly, that was not a very well written pattern. It's a lovely bolero, but I think I put a time limit on it. I started it very late. I needed it for the end of a week, and I started it beginning of that week or something, and I just had so many things going on that week, and I didn't have time to finish it or sit there and carefully read through the pattern line by line. But no matter how many times I kind of skimmed through it, to me it just didn't make sense, which really surprised me, but it might be why it's a free pattern. Sorry, drops. So that kind of got ripped out, and my harvest cardigan is still on the needles. I should actually show it to you guys, but it's over there. I can't be bothered to get it, sorry. Let me see if I can insert a picture, and if not, I'll hopefully show you guys next time, because hopefully by then it'll be finished. I really enjoyed the harvest cardigan. Again, picking up stitches, but it's not as bad as I thought. I did have a slight problem with the collar, but I can discuss that with you guys next time. So yeah, that's kind of been my knitting journey. I haven't done any crochet. I did a little bit of spinning, and I've put my spindle away somewhere, and I can't for the life of me find it. I started using Grace's fibre that she sent me, and it's lovely. But yeah, I can't find my spindle. What else has been going on? I've been doing other crafty stuff, but I'll chat about that in life. I think it's probably the best place to do it. Let's move on to acquisitions. So, if you guys remember, was doing knit 100 grams. That was a total fail, and I blame Maya of the Wool Barn, because I've been watching everyone's gorgeous yarn on Instagram and being tempted, and then being good and carrying on. But Maya kind of had an update, and I think she just caught me at a bad time. I could not resist and splurged, and then have been watching the door for the postman, and then realised I didn't actually have it sent to Singapore. I had it sent to my parents' house in the UK, so I'm not going to get to see it, all those beautiful skeins of yarn that I bought, until sometime next year, whenever that might be. So that was a bit of a downer. I apologise to all those people who managed to stick to knit 1,000 grams. I broke. I just couldn't. I tried, I really did try, and I'm trying to use as much stash yarn as possible for things, but I have castonitis all the time, which is why I have a gazillion whips and new finished objects. But that's me, and you kind of have to bear with me, sorry. A non-yarny thing that I bought. How gorgeous is this bag? So I love project bags, as you all might realise by now. And this gorgeous purple one, which is totally my colour, is from Jenni of Larch Designs. And she also had an update, and I had to give in. And it's great. It's, I've forgotten what she called it now, but it's basically a forest, and it's got some sparkly silver bits on it as well. And I haven't got a project in here yet, so I didn't realise that there was a little note inside until like just before I started podcasting. So she sent me a lovely note, and she sent me a pin, with a stitch marker. Where's the camera? From Remembrances Pottery. And I am totally coveting Remembrances Pottery. I really want the, what do I want? I want the mug. She doesn't ship to Singapore for kind of items like that, just because they could get damaged in the post, which I totally understand. So I kind of just have to wait. My husband's uncle is over here from the US at the moment, but I just felt guilty asking him to bring it, so I didn't order it. And I think I was tempted, but when I did go to her shop, she didn't have the mugs that I wanted, so, or they'd sold out very, very quickly, as they would, because they're gorgeous. So I'm really happy about this. It's so cute. I love this progress keeper. It's gonna have to go on something, maybe my socks. So yes, gorgeous bag by Jenni, Larch Designs. She's on Etsy. Check her out. And check out her podcast. I should have mentioned that first. Check out her podcast. The other thing that I got was Meg of the Bad Wolf Knits podcast has opened an Etsy store. She started dyeing yarn. And I got this beauty. It's not showing up so fantastic on here. There we go. Look at this. It is so soft and plump, and it's just unbelievable. This is called Deep Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken. Deep Space Galaxy LMC. It is so sparkly. I have honestly not seen yarn this sparkly for a very long time, and it's so soft. It's gorgeous. It's kind of got plummy colours and like a blacky brown and this gorgeous blue and purple. I just need the perfect kind of project for this. And if anyone has bought Meg's yarn before, please can you tell me how much is in here, because it's not something I could just PM her actually. But if you do know how much the yardage is, or the meterage is on this, that'd be great. Thank you. Sorry. I also have some other yarn which arrived whilst I was in Indonesia. And so it's at the post office and I haven't had a chance to pick it up. Should add, Meg included white Christmas tea, which I'm looking forward to drinking. And I've left the best to last. A few weeks ago, there was the hashtag, sorry, get your yarn, wishes granted. After looking at Kay's blanket, I decided to put a wish of my own out there after granting a few for some mini skeins, and lovely Sarah from the Reluctant Sisters podcast got in touch with me. Actually, she granted me my wish, but she said, why don't we do a swap, which was great. And I have it, and she's included so many lovely things. I was so excited. Do you know, like, literally I'm doing this. I've kept it all together because I didn't want it to go missing, i.e. a 10-month-old getting his hands on it. But let me show you all of these goodies. How amazing is that? She sent me so many skeins and she's packaged them all up really lovely. This thing that says be happy, and then she's got the names on the back. I, in comparison, didn't know the names of half my skeins, so she just got, these are by someone or the other. And they're all kind of ones that I've not used before. So white birch fibre arts, I've got Into the World I've got some Woolen Vine. This is her hand spun. Dan, if you're watching, you need to get some of Sarah's hand spun. And this is String Theory. There's just so many. There's some Miss Babs, Tosh Merino Light, the Socks That Rock, Lemonade Shop. Look how sparkly this is. I don't know if you can see the sparkle that well. Not only did she give me that, she sent some fibre, and this is from Hedgehog Fibres, and she said it was part of a grab bag, and it's these kind of deep blues, light blues, pink, a little bit of purple mauve in there as well. So I just need to find my spindle so I can work on this. And then not only that, I got goodies, and they came packaged in bubble wrap to try and avoid them getting crushed. Sarah sent me some Pop-Tarts. Now I know, you get Pop-Tarts in Singapore, you get Pop-Tarts in the UK, but many years ago, and this is probably goes back to when I was a teenager, Kellogg's changed the recipe of their Pop-Tarts, and the ones with the icing on have gelatine in them, and I don't eat gelatine, and so I had to stop eating Pop-Tarts. And she posted a while back on Instagram that she had found these. I can't remember what the exact gist of the story was, but I at some point had asked if they had gelatine in them, and she said they didn't. And so this came along as my treat, and she sent me a whole box. And do you know what? I haven't had them in so long that I forgot there were 2 per pack. So I said to my husband when I got them, do you want a Pop-Tart? And he was like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, you don't know what a Pop-Tart is? You're so missing out. So I was going to open 2 packs, and I'm really glad I didn't. I opened just the one. And toasted it, and he was picking it at, and I was like, if you don't want it, I'm more than happy to eat your share too. I think I'm safe in saying that these will only be mine. Doesn't get it. What can I say? She also sent me some candy canes, some of which might have been eaten already, and some Redbird. I think they're mints, are they candies? I've had one. They melt in your mouth. And she sent me some buttons. I just have a mess around me, so I can't find the best buttons now. Oh, here they are. Check it out. Look at these. These are so me. Thank you so much. They're bamboo washable buttons. So thank you so much, Sarah. It was a lovely package. And I waited to show these before I put them in the blanket, but I can't wait to get started on adding these to my blanket. And I still can't believe that you sent me your own hand spun. Thank you. And such a range of colours as well. It's great, because if it was my blanket, you'd probably just see kind of blues and purples. So yeah, this is great. Doing the swap was so much fun, and I'd love to be able to do more. My only problem is I don't have that many mini skeins, so I'm hoping that with time I'll get more mini skeins and I can do more swaps, because it was really fun. So yeah, now kind of moving on to life. I should say thank you for all of those who don't want to listen to any more. If you're only here for the crafty stuff, I will mention some crafty stuff, but it's more kind of life and craft. So if you don't want to stick around, thank you for sticking around this far. Take care, and I hope to see you next time. For the rest of you, what's been going on? It's been busy just because of the fact that the three of us have been sick repeatedly, especially my son and me. I think he keeps passing things on to me, and then I keep passing them back on to him. And we're just constantly getting colds and coughs. I have this really hacking cough. It's really dry, so once it starts, it just doesn't stop. And it's really irritating. We've had an issue with teething and food poisoning and all sorts. So literally, I think in the last 5 weeks, we've been sick for pretty much 4 of them, which hasn't helped with kind of the crafty side of things. It also means I'm kind of sapped of energy at present. What else? I had some exams, so I was busy with those. I had some mid-semester exams, which thankfully went really well, so I'm really pleased with that. I had my brother-in-law's wedding, and we've had family from abroad come. So that's been a really, really busy kind of part of my last month. And we actually had an extended family kind of getaway to Indonesia for a few days, and I did a short vlog from the bits that I remembered to video, which I've uploaded earlier on in the week. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit about Indonesia, check it out. It's short, it's about 5 minutes. So that was definitely interesting. I think it's interesting traveling with a little baby, especially at the stage he's at, because he wants to be crawling, he's really inquisitive, and we did a lot of traveling by bus, and bless him, he was quite good considering, especially because he started off quite sick. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. We got to visit a batik factory, but more about that I think in the new year. I've been working on a super secret project with some of my podcasting yarny friends, and again, I can't wait to tell you about it, but I have to wait at least another week, so stay tuned in terms of YouTube and Instagram. You'll be finding out more about this very, very soon. It's going to be so much fun, and if you don't want to miss out on the big announcement, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get to find out as soon as we're able to let the cat out of the bag. And I've been getting into kind of wellness stuff as well. So I'm obviously from a health background, and I'm quite interested in wellness products, and I've been getting into experimenting with and using essential oils, and I've been using them on our family and around the house, and getting more into that, and I have been kind of trying my hand at making wellness products with my own blends of essential oils. It's going well. I'm hoping I have something to show you guys probably next year now. I had hoped that things would be ready before Christmas, but I think all the kind of bits haven't quite fit yet, so watch this space. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys will be too. What else? I am going to Malaysia, to KL, for Christmas. One of my aunts has flown over to Phuket for a holiday, and she's stopping over in KL just so that we can meet up. So it'd be really nice to see someone from home. And I've been told I'm getting a care package courtesy of her from my mum, so I can't wait for that. Yeah, it's been really, really busy, and kind of the sickness perpetuated my kind of knitting slump, which is why there's not been huge amounts on that front, I'm afraid. It's also meant that I've not really been on Instagram, so I apologise about that. I'm going to try to get a little bit better, but you know, even the new year is going to be really, really busy, but I'm going to try my hardest because there's lots of exciting stuff that I want to be sharing with you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember. Oh yes, a big thank you to Dan and Kay for a lovely, lovely email that I got yesterday. I recently started kind of tech editing, and part of the reason for doing that was because at present I'm a stay-at-home mum, and I have chosen to be a stay-at-home mum, but being a stay-at-home mum doesn't help pay the bills. And I wanted to do something from home that I enjoyed, that I'm passionate about, and that kind of fits into being a mum. And tech editing has opened up that kind of avenue for me, and it's all thanks to Jolie from Jolie Creates. I was looking into it and came across her course, which I took, and kind of things have started off from there. Dan and Kay have been fantastic because they recommended me to somebody, and I really appreciate kind of any recommendations, tips, help that I'm getting, because honestly I couldn't do it without you wonderful people, and it's really hard starting out in a completely different line of work. It's nerve-wracking. I want to be able to do this on a more regular basis, and I need to be able to get something back from it to be able to do it long term. So I'm really hoping to be able to work on it more. So let's kind of see how things go, but thank you guys for all your help and support and tips, and keep it coming, because I'm new at this. I'm new at kind of the business side of things. I'm a medic, and as I always tell my husband, I'm not a business person. These things don't come naturally to me, and it can get a bit stressful. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that. Like I said, watch out for things coming. It's gonna be really exciting. Take care. Like, subscribe, and see you guys soon. Bye.